Here we go again.
The second round of the UEFA Cup, and the draw has taken the Owls to Germany.
Tell you what, I like the winning end.
And our friends are all aboard. There's no Jim McCalliog, but there is David Ford.
Am I over there?
And Helen Francis making her UEFA away debut for Wednesday as well.
Word has
Yeah,
it
that's fine.
that Nigel Pearson used to do the Old Spice commercials without jumping on.
You got boarding passes? You got your boarding passes? You got your boarding passes?
Who's a chocoholic then?
Hold on, I'm gonna get a few things for Kingy. Hold on a minute.
Just room in there for one more. Destination this time, Kaiserslautern, the German League champions of 1990. The old Euro campaigner knew what was ahead.
Our chief scout was here 2 or 3 weeks ago when they played Nuremberg, and he said then that he felt it was like an Anfield type atmosphere.
Hand like a foot. Do you want Americans to take steroids? Rob, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Sorry, I just This is not really shit.
Oh, there we go.
Kaiserslautern, an industrial town in western Germany, is famous for its Opel car plant, an American Air Force base, and of course, its football team. The terraces will soon explode into a red-hot cauldron of fireworks and smoke bombs. The cameras prepare to capture the action, the TV rights sold by the home team for 2 million German marks. The first of the 1,500 Wednesday fans arrive. These have come by plane from Manchester in a package deal costing £172. And 30 newly won supporters too, the players and officials from Spora Luxembourg. Remember the goalie Fernan Felton?
We are great supporters now.
They'll probably not get the refereeing decisions they might expect, because that's what happens in European football. So they've got to keep their nerve. They've got to learn from Leeds United's first game, remember, in Germany when they threw caution to the wind. They've got to keep their nerve a bit tonight, but I think they've got an experienced crew going out here tonight. I think they can do it.
Well, whatever the special problems of European football, Wednesday have the reassurance of this big Yorkshire following in the Fritz Walter Stadium. For this, their biggest European night in 3 decades. A pleasure, of course, to have Ian St John in our commentary box. We're here first from John Hell. John.
Thank you, Nick. Good evening and welcome to the Fritz Walter Stadium as we have a look, first of all, at the Sheffield Wednesday lineup with Chris Woods in goal. John Harkes wearing number 2. Nigel Worthington will play at left back in the number 3 jersey. Carlton Palmer has passed the fitness test and wears 4. Nigel Pearson is the captain wearing 5. Viv Anderson at 6. Danny Wilson has got the call and his experience has won him that call wearing 7. Chris Waddle is in the number 8 shirt. David Hirst, good to see him back in action, wearing 9. Paul Warhurst playing up front alongside Hirst 10. And Graham Hyde, the local boy, wears 11. Trevor Francis has chosen that side. And good to see David Hirst making his European debut. He, of course, missed the 2 legs against Spora of Luxembourg. The Kaiserslautern team, they were the league champions the season before last. Gerald Ehrmann is the goalkeeper. Number 2 will be Björn Goldbach. 3, Martin Wagner. At 4, Thomas Ritter. Wearing 5, Miroslav Kadlec, the Czechoslovakian international sweeper. Wolfgang Funkel wears number 6, he's the captain. Demir Otic is at 7. Marco Aber is at 8. 9 is Martel Vitacek, wearing 10 Oliver Schaefer, and completing the Kaiserslautern lineup is Marcus Marin. There it is. Rainer Zubel is the trainer of Kaiserslautern, who have not been beaten in their own stadium for 16 months, and there's an encouraging start for Wednesday. It was a very good turn indeed, and the cross unfortunately didn't quite match it from Chris Waddle. But Ian St John with me, what an atmosphere it is here.
Lovely atmosphere, John. You know, it's shaping up here to be a terrific tie, this one. I'm pleased to see that Trevor has gone for an experienced lineup, because I think in European Cup ties, you've got to do that. You've got to put your most experienced men out there.
Joe Quignou is the referee. He's from France. Yes, and he'll particularly be looking, will Trevor Francis, to the likes of Chris Waddle, who's on the chase here now. Somebody who has played in a European Cup final, of course, and the likes of Viv Anderson as well.
Sure, yeah, very experienced players. I've been interested to see how Warhurst plays up front, along with Hirst, because the pace there of Warhurst could come into play tonight.
That was Warhurst, and that's Harks's pass for Graham Hyde. He won't get to that. There's a crowd of 27,000. The stadium here holds 38,500, but there is a Uefa capacity of 27,000 for European matches. But the Sheffield Wednesday fans are certainly making a noise. They're away to my left. We're behind glass in the television commentary position on the halfway line. Kaiserslautern in their all-red strip, and theirs is a remarkable story. Free kick given for the challenge on Demi Otic, and straight away a yellow card has been shown to Nigel Pearson.
Well, so we were worried about the referee before the game, but I think this is ridiculous. Nigel Pearson really just tripped there. You know, he miscontrolled the ball, tripped over the opponent, and the referee's given him a card. So I think that indicates the way things could go here tonight for Wednesday with this referee.
That really was a joke of a booking, wasn't it? He did nothing at all.
And the number 7, I mean, he's just made a meal of it, hasn't he?
The sort of thing that happens in European competition, though. And Sheffield Wednesday is still in the learning process, remember. It's 28 years since they last competed in Europe. They came through easily against Sport of Luxembourg, 10-2 on aggregate, but this is a stern test. Any German opposition is stern. And the crowd loving it as Chris Woods comes out, and then they love that as well. He didn't deliver a good ball, it went straight into the crowd, and it's a throw-in midway inside their own half. That will be a free kick against Carlton Palmer, who a week ago was preparing to play for England against Norway at Wembley. He got on in the closing stages of that match. In the left full-back position is Wagner. Kaiserslautern, the sort of side who score plenty of goals but give a few away. They were beaten 2-0 at the weekend. Lost to Bayer Leverkusen, while Sheffield Wednesday were defeating Oldham Athletic. Here is Hirst, first time getting it onto that left foot of his and doing well, and Hirst goes on. Might have even thought of a shot, and then in the end he played it wider. Worthington couldn't quite get there, and the defensive work was done by Marco Albert. Wednesday's throw, and Hyde tussling for it. Big night for him, Graham Hyde. When you think a year ago he'd barely made a first-team appearance, and now, having played against Spora, here he is playing against one of Germany's top teams. Long throw up there. Warhurst will come for it, and it bounced, in fact, over the top of his head and ran through to goalkeeper Ehrman. But Wednesday have made a reasonable start. Interesting little place, Kaiserslautern. It's only a population of about 100,000, the smallest one to have a Bundesliga team. But they do get behind their side.
Well, they're very loyal supporters, I gather. You know, they've got a very good average, almost 30,000 a game, but 19,000 season ticket holders.
That's right, Saints. In fact, when they won the championship the season before last, they did so at Cologne on the last day of the season. They beat them 6-2 away from home, and 40,000 people went from this town there. Waddle's ball in, and a little flick header, and a goal for Sheffield Wednesday from the head of David Hirst. What a marvellous start for Sheffield Wednesday. They've got their away goal. Hirst has got it. It was a great ball in from Chris Waddle, and a mere flick of the head. Watch David Hirst, it just brushes his head. Here he is coming for it now. Waddle's ball, Hirst header, Wednesday lead 1-0. And that's a super start.
Wonderful start. Good little ball in by Waddle there, and Hirst got across the front of the centre half. There he is there, just a little top-on header. The goalkeeper going one way, actually changed direction, didn't get there, and that's it, that's it in the net.
But drama already, a penalty awarded against Sheffield Wednesday. What a start to the game. It was a challenge by Viv Anderson. The German camera didn't pick it up because it was concentrating on David Hirst's goal. Whether they've got it on another camera, we'll find out in a moment. It looked to be right on the edge of that penalty box. And frantic messages are being sent by Richie Barker to Chris Woods in the Sheffield Wednesday goal. And are Kaiserslautern going to come back with an immediate response? The captain, Funkel, is about to take a penalty for Kaiserslautern within 60 seconds of Hirst having given Wednesday the lead. So is Funkel about to equalise for Kaiserslautern? He is. Well, it's a stunning blow to Wednesday, because having taken the lead after 5 minutes, they were full of euphoria, and then to be hauled straight back like that is catastrophic for them.
Well, I mean, we're looking at the penalty kick here, but the Sheffield Wednesday players have been surrounding the referee. They're obviously, you know, totally distraught with the decision. It would appear that the Wednesday players certainly think it was never a penalty kick. You know, the cameraman missed it, the director didn't get it because he was in a replay. Let's hope we can maybe see it if he's got it on another tape, John.
Well, well, we said it was a cracking atmosphere, and as you can imagine now, the crowd is on its toes. Well, this looks like the incident where the penalty was given on the edge of the area. That was Viv Anderson's challenge, and it was a theatrical dive by Vitajek. Let's have another look from behind the goal. He seems to fall over the outstretched leg.
That looked to me as if Viv Anderson actually played the ball away there.
Well, I didn't think it looked like a penalty, certainly. But it's certainly been a lively enough start. Sheffield Wednesday's corner, and Paul Warhurst with his pace is already unsettling them at the back.
Well, you see what that does, John, it gives the other players an extra out. They can play one over the top and allow Warhurst to have a run at it, and I think that is terrific. You know, it gives a bit of variety to the play.
I think Wednesday just trying to slow things down while they regather their composure at the moment.
That's not a bad idea.
Well, they were so stunned by giving that goal away. It was a Viv Anderson challenge, by the way. Here in the side of the penalty area is Pearson. And the ball breaks, but that's not well delivered. It wasn't really a good ball from Marin. And so Harks is here for Wednesday, across the face of that Kaiserslautern penalty area. Picked up for Wednesday here. Waddle might try a shot. He's so skillful with that left foot, and now he turns and it's still on the left foot. Fires it in! And Hirst on the left foot had a chance of making it 2-1 to Wednesday, and it just landed at an awkward height and level for him.
Well, it did, John. I thought perhaps he should have gone with his right foot to this one. You'll see him there, he just lunged with his left. I think even if he'd have gone with his right foot, he might not have got it, but really another little chance.
Ritter is following Warhurst everywhere. They'll know about him, they'll have done their homework, just as Sheffield Wednesday have done theirs on Kaiserslautern. Richie Barker did see them lose 2-0 at the weekend.
Seemingly they don't play so well away from home, John.
No, they have a shocking record away from home.
But here on their own midden, as I say, they are very formidable.
That's right, they've played 4 matches away from home this season and lost a lot. And that will be Wednesday's free kick, much to the disgust of the crowd. We might be slightly biased here. Marin, his challenge on Hyde, the 2 number 11s. And just in case you were wondering, the Sheffield Wednesday substitutes this evening. Kevin Pressman, of course, the goalkeeper. Gordon Watson, John Sheridan, Michael Williams, and Chris Bart-Williams. This is Anderson, who got a couple of goals, of course, against Sport of Luxembourg in the first leg at Hillsborough. It's a very busy television presentation position we've got up here, and it's busy down there on the pitch as well as Harks loses out. There are bodies everywhere on the pitch and up here as well. There's considerable danger once more for Wednesday as progress is made through the middle, and Marin's ball just eluding Vitacek. Again, they look dangerous.
Well, they're keeping enough players up front, aren't they? You know, they're not bothering too much about defending tonight. They're keeping 3 men up the front, and so they've got plenty of targets there, John.
I think it's wonderful to see Sheffield Wednesday back in Europe. It's, when you think they had such a lean time, and of course almost went down to Division 4, didn't they, those horror days a few years ago. Thankfully those are all behind them now. And they make progress again with Palmer, who uses those long legs of his to stride forward and aim the ball into the middle. And that will do Warhurst's confidence a bit of good. He got onto the end of it, but put the header wide.
If they can get a service into Warhurst, you know, I mean, he's very dangerous in there. He's a good header of the ball, being a defender. And I think if they get a good service to him, that wasn't a particularly good ball. You know, it was too far out and curving away from him.
Wagner. Oh, Wednesday holding off him. He's figured in this move 3 times already, and they've gone back inside their own half. That wasn't very imaginative, and they're going even further back now. Funkel. Yet again, it's this left back. He's sprightly, all right. Harks sticking like glue to him. But despite all the pressure, you've got to say that they've just had the one shot, really, from the left back.
They've looked very dangerous, John, and never really made enough from the positions that they've got themselves into, the German side.
Well, they do keep winning throw-ins and corners. And they have another corner, as you can see, the ball spotted there in the quadrangle, and then played very long indeed, and it might be struck here by Goldbeck, and off the crossbar. I think Wood's got a touch to it as well. Super effort that from the Dane. Goldbeck hitting it first time. It was a very clever corner. It was a volley, it landed right on his toe end, and when Goldbeck struck this one, that was destined for the top corner. Woods might have got a touch, the woodwork kept it out anyway. More danger for Wednesday. It's imperative that they survive this little session. Well, that one's not going to worry them. Thumped into the crowd by Wagner, but the crowd really buzzing still from that effort from Goldbeck.
Well, it was a wonderful effort, John, and I think you were right enough in calling it that Chris Wood's got a finger to that one. I think he did as well, you know, and just deflected it onto the crossbar.
Goldbeck scored twice last season. He hasn't got a goal this time, though.
He won't come closer, will he?
Certainly won't. Still 1-1. Kaiserslautern 1, Sheffield Wednesday 1. And Wednesday don't seem to have been near Kaiserslautern's goal for a long time. That's a back pass. Now he's got to control this with the boot and then play it out. Well, it was a bit of a flapjack ball, and then it's handled by Arber. So a bit of welcome relief for Wednesday, and Waddle has already lobbed the ball forward towards Warhurst. His knockdown didn't find Wilson, but Hirst will thump it in, and that was a super effort from David Hirst. Typical Hirst, full of confidence, and that shows he's back.
That was class, John, wasn't it? Wonderful volley. I mean, this fella has got all the class in the world here. Just watch this. Gets his body the right shape, and woof, it's a beauty.
That's a good square ball, and it's opened things up a little bit for Funkel, who comes galloping into space, and dearie me. And again, you see the crowd getting at him. They weren't impressed by Herr Funkel's passing abilities on that occasion. Well, one back, and again appeals for a penalty, and no matter how they protest, they're not going to get a second one. Not for that.
You wouldn't think so, certainly not for that. Watch this here, he's been in under a challenge here from Pearson, and I mean, it just falls down.
He threw himself, didn't he? Hirst for Wednesday, nicely done. And then just overhit the ball through for Warhurst. Kaiserslautern not exactly full of established international stars, which is what you tend to find often against German opposition. Their international players are Funkel, who won a couple of caps back in 1986 under Franz Beckenbauer. Kadlec for Czechoslovakia. Dooley, the American, who's not playing tonight. Eriksson, the Swede, who's not playing either. And goal back from Denmark. Wednesday have got a free kick. Already taken. Waddle has now decided to take up this position out on the right flank. Easily nipped in the bud that time, but again, Anderson was there, and now Wilson's got a little bit of space if he can be quick enough to react. Hirst and Hyde. Well in Worthington, and it's gone forward to Warhurst as well, and that's gone out. It would have been rather good if he'd have turned it round the other way, because Hyde had taken up a good position and had a clear sight on goal. But overall, Saint, would you feel Sheffield Wednesday are happy with the way things have gone?
I would think, other than the penalty kick, yes. I would think that it's gone very, very much their way this half. I think they're playing very well. They've weathered a little bit of a storm, but they've handled it very well, John.
Alan Woods under pressure and playing the ball out sensibly. Well, now it breaks. This is imminent problems for Wednesday here. So it was taken on by Vitacek, and going stride for stride with him was Nigel Pearson. And then it's a looped cross, which will produce a free kick for Sheffield Wednesday, and the anxiety is eroded again.
The Germans do like to fall down, don't they? I mean, we've seen this at national level, and they do it all the time. I mean, they just fall down, and they're always looking for something. Look at that. I mean, I don't know why he didn't stay on his feet there.
Absolutely. Klinsmann certainly won a reputation for that. So if Wednesday can hold out for the remainder of this first half, and there's not more than about 3 minutes, like the way Chris Woods jarred his ankle there. Nice flick header from Hirst to Warhurst. And a free kick as well. Ritter on Warhurst. The German coach came off the bench. There's Zöbel. Didn't like that at all. No, it would be rather useful if Wednesday could just sneak another one now in the closing moments of the half. They've got 5 men up on the edge of the box. Waddle to take it. He must guard against putting it too close to the goalkeeper. He hasn't done that. Hirst just couldn't get there. And again, a player's gone down inside the penalty area. And Hirst has been sent off. Well, he's made a meal of that as Albert, and rather stupidly now Warhurst is getting involved as well with the goalkeeper airman. And David Hirst, the night had started so well with a goal from Hirst in 5 minutes, but now dramatically in the closing moments of the half he's been sent off for that challenge on Ehrman. I thought Hirst was merely trying to get to the ball when it was swung in by Waddle. The referee produced a red card, and David Hirst has gone.
Well, the referee never saw anything, John, and turned to the linesman and looked at the linesman. The linesman had his flag up, and the referee just said, OK, here's the incident here now. We'll watch it here. And I mean, there's absolutely nothing happening there.
Oh, that was Worthington running away, just threw himself. Yeah, it was, that's right.
Surely that's not the incident.
No, that wasn't the incident. That was not the incident. But how on earth the referee could justify... Here it is now, look, here it is. He's trying to get to the ball. Now, down goes the player. Hirst hasn't touched him at all.
Well, Hirst got his left foot hooked behind his leg, but I mean, if you tell me that is a sending off offence, I can't believe that. He never saw it, the referee. Never saw it.
It's just what you were telling and warning Trevor Francis about in the minutes before the kick-off.
Exactly. Now he's given him a penalty kick and he's sent a player off.
I noticed as well the German goalkeeper laughing all over his face.
Well, they would do, wouldn't they?
Yep. And that's because they now feel they're up against 10 men for the remainder of this match, which has got a full 45 minutes and perhaps a couple in this half to go. And Wednesday must play out the remainder of the game without Hirst, who will be automatically suspended from the second leg at Hillsborough. That's a shame. Kaiserslautern looking for a second goal. They're kept at bay by Pearson. And then it's Waddle. Well, Wednesday are going to have to come against all the odds to win this one now. The scoreline, remember, is 1-1. But in terms of numerical matters, it's 11 on the Kaiserslautern side and 10 on the Wednesday side.
Well, you know, sometimes, John, 10 men can be difficult to beat as long as they get organised, as long as they stay nice and tight. they could maybe even get through this and keep it at 1-1.
Well, especially as we've seen, the crowd are getting very frustrated with their own players. They'll get on their backs even more if they don't get a goal soon into the second half. We're getting quite close now to the half-time whistle. There must be a bit of time to be added on. And this is Kadlec. Still Kadlec. And now this man Haber, who went down dramatically. For me, it was never ever a sending off offence. It wasn't even a bookable offence. That was a weak slice. But there is danger once more, and inside the penalty area he thumps in the shot, does Marin, and as the crowd gasp, he'll be disappointed to have put it wide. He got behind Harks, and it was never going to trouble Woods.
See, the defenders now have got to be so careful about putting their foot in, because, you know, they're frightened of another penalty. I just thought there that Chris Waddle should have gone and headed the ball on the edge of the box there, John, and just stood. Now's the time for everybody's got to go in and challenge.
We're coming up to half-time, as you can see. 15 seconds of the first half left of official time. Well, we've certainly had a lot to talk about in the first 45 minutes. Harks has the ball for Sheffield Wednesday. And it does throw quite an onus on Warhurst now. He's got to play a lone role up there.
Yes, but again, you know, he'll have to work hard and chase around and just look for something, and who knows, he may get a scrap or two, John. And
well, he's a fit young lad.
Sure.
And here he is. And he's doing that, taking them on. Palmer's ball for Hyde. And it might even go for a corner. Now it's just rescued by Goldbeck. Or has it? Now that's half-time here. It's half-time in the Fritz-Walter Stadium in Kaiserslautern. And it's one apiece, with David Hirst scoring after 5 minutes for Sheffield Wednesday. It was a dream of a start, but within a minute, Wolfgang Funkel had equalised from the penalty spot after a foul by Viv Anderson. And then in the closing stages of the half, Hirst was dramatically sent off. So it's 1-1 at half-time. Join us for the second half after the break. Welcome back to the Fritz-Walter Stadium in Kaiserslautern, and a real test of character now for Sheffield Wednesday in this closing 45 minutes in Germany. It's 1-1 on the scoreline, but remember, they're down to 10 men, with David Hirst having been sent off in the closing moments of that first half. And Saint, just a further comment about that, we've seen the replay. We've also seen the replay of the penalty incident now. To me, it was neither a penalty nor a sending off.
Well, I would agree with you, John, and I don't really think that we're just saying that because we want Wednesday to win this game. I think we'll be fair and above board in saying that.
That is a free kick given by the French referee, Monsieur Quignou. A smile from Otic, but Waddle will ply this one in, and Wednesday might as well get people in that box. They've got an away goal here, remember. That is of paramount importance. It'd be rather nice if they could get another one at the start of the second half. Remember, they scored in the first 5 minutes of the game. Waddle has floated it in. That's an easy catch for Ehrmann. Well named. To be kept in play down this side by Schaefer. And his ball in field is to Goldbeck. It's just a little bit too deep. Nonetheless, Wagner comes in. Oh, and then the ricochet. There might be a second goal. The chip is over the top. And what an opportunity that one was for Vitcek. It could have been a sensational opening to the second half. It was a ricochet, really, that opened it up for him. Look at that. It came back to him off Nigel Pearson, and he clips it over Woods. But fortunately for Wednesday, over the top too.
Well, that was quite a let-off, wasn't it, for Sheffield Wednesday here? I mean, they got the break there when he got clean through. Normally, you'd expect them just to dink that over and put it in the empty net, but thankfully, get under it too much and over the top.
That's the coach of the Kaiserslautern side, Rainer Zobel, who won 3 league titles himself as a midfield player with Bayern Munich. Took over as coach here, by the way, from Kalle Feldkamp, who was extremely popular, as you would imagine, when the team won the league championship. He's now in Turkey, however. And that was a wretched ball. And it's given Wednesday a bit of breathing space. Harks Not a good ball from him, but Harks hasn't really been able to get forward as much as he would like in this match. He relishes the prospect of joining in with the attacks, but his work has been solely concentrated on defence. Easily cut out again by Harks, and once more it showed the quality of passing of Kaiserslautern. Hasn't always been out of the top drawer, but this is a bit of danger for them now as it's knocked back in, and Palmer just about does enough to scrape it out. And then a lunging boot from Hyde knocked it further forward. And appeals for offside, not given, and the referee waved play on this time and was right to do so. And the German coach has actually gone down the touchline to remonstrate with the linesman. He shouldn't be doing that. And in fact, he's being told, it's out of your shot, but he's just been told by a FIFA official to sit down. They're wanting everything. They might get another goal. They have got another one. Wednesday are behind, and it's Marcus Marin. Wednesday were caught cold there. The flags are waving. The German coach had actually been complaining to the linesman about an offside verdict that wasn't given. And when that ball was laid across, Marin walloped it across Chris Woods into the far corner. And Kaiserslautern are in front for the first time in the tie. And you have to say he took it well.
Well, he certainly took it well. Stuck it away into the far corner there. I don't think there's much anyone could have done about it. But, you know, he got himself in the space between John Harks and Pearson. And there you are. I don't think Woods, you could blame him. He was very close to there as he knocked it in the corner.
It's just what Wednesday didn't need at the start of the second half. Marcus Marin, it's his first goal for Kaiserslautern since he joined them from Stuttgart Kickers. Former Hamburg player as well. His third European appearance, his first goal. Wednesday need to come back themselves now, and Warhurst wins a corner kick for them. Well, no, he doesn't.
Well, he's actually given a foul against Chris Warner for chesting the ball. He said it was a handball.
Well, that's the way it goes in Europe. Now it's a dangerous time for Wednesday because the crowd are really getting behind the local side. As you would expect, they've got to come to Hillsborough, remember, in 2 weeks' time. And again, we've said it before, it's important that Sheffield keep their nerve. 2-1 wouldn't be too bad. If it starts to get to 3-1 and 4-1, then things become very difficult indeed. But it's Kaiserslautern 2, Sheffield Wednesday 1. Hyde on the ball for Wednesday. Battling and losing out. And again there is danger, and now centre forward goes through, and he's passwords, and it's a third goal for Kaiserslautern, Marcel Vitacek, and Wednesday have been punished cruelly there. 2 goals in 2 minutes, and Vitacek took it ever so calmly. The defender Anderson was terrified about making a tackle. There it was, he got a lunging boot in. Vitacek didn't go down this time, went around Woods as the keeper maybe slipped a little, and the ball's in the Wednesday net for the second time in 2 minutes and the third time on the night.
But again, you've got in that space in between 2 defenders there, John, and you have to say that the Wednesday at the moment seem to be allowing space to develop for the Kaiserslautern players to get in between them.
German teams are so dangerous when they get their tails up like this.
Well, you noticed that Vitacek, when he went through, had that been an earlier part of the game in another area of the field, he'd have just went down and pretended he was dead. But there he was able to hold his balance, rode the challenge, and went away and put it in the net.
I confess I was watching for him to go down, and he fooled me when he didn't, and he did the right thing. He kept his feet and went on and scored. And what a test is this for Wednesday now. Palmer, and he's brought down on the halfway line, and Vitacek won't be booked for that. Tackle from behind. There we have the list of scorers. David Hirst making it a terrific start for Wednesday, but Funkel, Marin and Vitacek have given Kaiserslautern a 2-goal advantage. And a cacophony of noise is increasing, and it's all coming from the German fans. And it's knocked out by Ritter. They want the ball at the moment. They're swarming forward, and that's again a good pass. Checking inside Hirst, and then when he lays played the ball across. Arbert played it straight against the Wednesday man, but Palmer is fouled and Wednesday will have a free kick. They've got to try and get a second goal themselves. Waddle will look to catch them out down the right now. Well, he gave up on it when he lost it. Fortunately, that's not a well-delivered pass. But Goldbeck still picks it up and clips it down the right touchline. It's kept in play, and here comes a cross which is safely guarded by Woods. Kaiserslautern 3, Sheffield Wednesday 1. And we have to remember Wednesday are down to 10 men. Trevor Francis and Richie Barker with a lot of work to do. It's a terrific sight behind Chris Wood's goal. The flags are waving, the scarves are waving. Look at that. And that's the Kaiserslautern fans. They've plenty to be singing about. And it looks to me as though Kaiserslautern are going to make a change, actually. There's another bit of jostling inside the Wednesday penalty area. It's not a good clearance, and Kadlec can clip it into the penalty area. And again, rather theatrically, the Kaiserslautern player goes down, and I thought the referee was actually reaching for his yellow card. He is, and that's going to be a booking for Vitacek. Well, he's done it now, hasn't he? Why didn't he do that in the first half?
Exactly.
It really isn't good enough. When will they learn? Pretty sure that Kaiserslautern are going to make a substitution shortly. The coach, Rainer Zerbel, has been frantically signalling along the touchline. It's going to be Thomas Vögel who'll come on. We've seen nothing of Wednesday in attack so far in this half.
No, I think, you know, it's a bit like backs to the wall time at the moment. They need a little breather for 10 minutes if they're going to hold out.
And they are chasing shadows. Worthington this time is able to effect a clearance. Palmer beaten in the air by the tall Funkel. Kaiserslautern 3, Sheffield Wednesday 1, and there is the substitute, Thomas Vögel, who's got one goal already this season, so they're bringing on another striker in the hope of really killing Wednesday off. And those are danger signs, and that might well be a corner. Did that go out? Hyde it was and Wilson who put boot to ball in the end, and I think a corner was given.
I think Sheffield Wednesday are also going to bring on a substitute.
Well spotted, Saint. They are. They're going to bring on Chris Bart-Williams, and the player who will come off will be Graham Hyde.
To tell you the truth, I think that Chris Waddle looks to me as if he got a bit of a knock on his ankle in the first half and doesn't appear happy at all in the match. It hasn't been into the match, so I think if I was making a substitution, I would look at very closely at Waddle's contribution at the moment.
But for the moment, it's the two number 11s who've come off. Marcus Marin, who scored that all-important second goal for Kaiserslautern, is off, and Vögel is on for him. Here's the corner, headed out this time by Palmer. Oh, and there was space there, and I don't think he realised he was onside Hotic. It fell to him beautifully, and that was a good chance. Wednesday had pushed out. Look at this, he was onside, swung on it, and didn't get any power. And again, the German coach is being told by the Uefa official to sit down. It's another little bit of gamesmanship.
Well, I mean, he keeps going up and threatening the linesman because he's not given the decisions that he wants.
Shouldn't do that now then. Wilson gets stuck in, but the defender Goldback was there, and there he is again, and oh, now this is real danger for Wednesday once more as Vögel goes on and rolls it in. Oh, and he tripped over his own feet, did Vitacek, otherwise it could have been 4-1.
Vitacek was looking for to be a little bit clever there. He was looking for a back heel. Watch this here, Johnny. He ran up, and had it come off, it would have been a beauty. He tried to back heel it to the advancing midfield player.
Oh, here's a dangerous moment. Worthington, Fergal, and Woods has made the save, and that might be critical in the final analysis. Worthington played it straight against the substitute, Fergal, who should have made it 4-1, and that might have buried Wednesday.
But Chrissy Woods, terrific, great reaction.
Well, that's got the crowd buzzing again. It might so easily have been 4. And Nigel Worthington, his heart will still be beating faster.
Yeah, it was a mistake by Nigel there, but his goalkeeper really got him out the hole there.
Yes, well done, Chris Woods. He didn't have a chance with the goals, and there he saved his side. Oh, and now it's Bart Williams who lost it, and this time the referee does wave play on. Knocked forward again by Funkel. Cadlets will be chased all the way by Warhurst. Once more, it's on the back foot, Wednesday. And, laid back to this centre forward who whips the shot wide. That was on the left foot of Vitacek. He is a tricky customer, he's dangerous all right. We don't like some of the theatricals, but he can play, no doubt about that. So this is a first-time snapshot, and it's drilled no more than a foot wide.
Well, that was a great volley, that, John. That was a beauty, and he really drilled it, didn't he? You know, caught it on his left foot. Well, about 6 inches off the ground, and bang. You know, Chris was still diving there when the ball had hit the boards.
That's what's disappointing about the German strikers. We talked about Klinsmann earlier. They've got all the skill. They don't need to do all this diving about.
Well, that's the way we see it, but, you know, that's the way the Germans played again. It's awful.
Now then, Wednesday, come on. Harks. And then Waddle's ball inside is to Bart Williams. They had the chance to break a little bit more quickly than they did there, but Bart Williams has played well, I thought it was going to be a really good pass up to Waddle again, but that man Ritter got across there. He hasn't missed anything, and now it's given away. Carlton Palmer, can he get a second for Wednesday? Still Palmer, whips the shot in, and it's beaten out by Airman. That was the best chance that Wednesday have had in this second half. And Carlton Palmer, who scored against Oldham on Saturday, looked for a moment as though he might get in. He didn't. All credit to the goalkeeper for effecting the save. And now straight away back come the red shirts. And it's like the Liverpool tide when they come like this, isn't it, of old. And it breaks now for Otic. Otic through, he's not offside, but it trickles through to Chris Woods. But first of all, Saint, what about that chance of Carlton Palmer's?
Well, Big Carlton actually worked it well there, got it onto his right foot. The angle was a bit tight for him, and actually the keeper did well.
Warhurst has got a flick through. It came from Waddle, who's in possession again now from Bart Williams' ball. Now then, come on, Waddle, let's have a good ball in. And it's a bit flat, and it enabled Kadlec to clear. And yet again, when they break, they seem to have acres of space. And it's going to be fed through into the inside right channel now. And when the shot came in, well, he struck it well, didn't he, Schaefer? And clawed out by Woods.
That was a good shot, John, wasn't it? I mean, that was a beautiful shot because he hit it on the run. He was flying full pelt. And he caught it and really smacked it. And again, Chrissy Woods angled and got it right and held it.
Good catch from the England keeper. But Wednesday could do with another goal. So there it was again. He did pluck that one out well. It's Kaiserslautern 3, Sheffield Wednesday 1. Hirst for Wednesday, but those 2 goals quickly after half-time from Marin and Vitacek changed the entire complexion of the game. Wednesday look themselves now to change it again. Bart Williams, he's full of confidence for such a young lad. Teenager, remember, he's going to be playing in the World Youth Cup in Australia later in the season, but he's really made an impact this time. You sense that Kaiserslautern know they want a 4th goal to really seal it. Driven across, stabbed away, and can Palmer get to that? No is the answer. Here is Schaefer, who had that shot a moment ago. Rather hopeful ball in. Vitacek chesting it down, appeals for a penalty, and this time the referee shakes his head. And Wednesday breathe a sigh of relief. They are going to bring Watson on, as the player down is Otic. Here we see this replay.
I think Nigel Pearson was actually holding on to his arm there.
It may well be.
I mean, Pearson was complaining that Viticek was taking a dive there, but I thought he had a grab of his arm.
Certainly looked more dubious than the incident which did produce a penalty with Anderson early on.
There we can see it. He certainly had a hold of his arm. And almost a deflection, it got it past
All right, they'll
Chris Wood going the
scuffle.
wrong way.
The change will be made, and it's Warhurst to be replaced by Watson. It means we're not going to see John Sheridan or Michael Williams, the other two substitutes, apart from the goalkeeper Pressman, of course. I think Wednesday wanted 2 men in. And the ball was bounced. Ooh, and that was a vital interception by Worthington. If that one had got through, you had to fancy Goldbeck's chances. Pearson forward, Waddle's flick. Well, Watson can give it everything, can't he? Coming on fresh lungs, fresh legs for 10 minutes. And he's given away a free kick. Remember, all these ties played over 2 legs, though, so with Sheffield Wednesday's goal counting double in the event of the scores being level in 2 weeks' time, it's still very much match on, this. Watson beaten by Ritter. It's broken for Bart Williams, now for Palmer. Watson, neat build-up. Here's Palmer! Carlton Palmer! Over the top. And again he holds his head in his hands, because that was a really good chance for Carlton Palmer. And having got a goal on Saturday, he must have fancied his chances.
Well, the big fella had to keep it down, didn't he? Had to keep it low and just side put it past the keeper. A wonderful move. Chris Waddle slotted a lovely pass right into his path, and big Carlton got underneath it.
Absolutely vital for Wednesday's hopes in this match. Now they don't concede another goal, and they would have done there, but for Woods making the save from goal back. He might actually have done better, the Dane, with the shot. Woods kept it out, and then it was put behind for the corner. It didn't really, he didn't strike it with a great deal of conviction, did he?
No, he tried to pass the ball into the net there, and Chris Woods was able to get across there and get it. And tidied up by Pearson.
When you think about it, it's 3-1, and they've missed 2 excellent chances. Corner kick, and Funkel and Woods makes a spectacular punch-out. When you think of that miss by Fergal when he had only Woods to beat, and then that one there, it could have been much, much worse. It's 3-1, that's bad enough, though, at the moment, but Wednesday have got it out, and Palmer stretches his legs, and the defenders were caught in 2 minds, and he's whacked it across to Watson, who's got to go on and take them on all by himself. And the challenge of the defender, Schaefer, was strong enough. And it's still 3-1. Funkel.
But that's a foul.
It was a foul by
well, he just ran and
Fergal,
jumped
wasn't
it? Yeah, he just jumped at Pearson there, didn't he?
Palmer. Palmer has missed a couple of good chances in this second half, and he is fouled. I mean, he's kept going, Carlton Palmer. It's just a pity he's not been able to finish it off with the 2 chances.
I'll tell you something, I think the Wednesday are finishing the stronger side, even though they've only got 10 men. I think they've worked very, very hard right throughout the game, and are now finishing the stronger of the 2 sides. I think Kaiserslautern really finished 10 minutes ago.
That's right, we've had 2 minutes of time added on, and that indeed is the final whistle here in Germany. Sheffield Wednesday have been beaten by 3-1, having had a perfect start with a David Hirst goal. Funkel equalised from the penalty spot within a minute, and then in the second half, in the early stages, Marin and Viticek make it 3-1 to the Germans. But Saint, it's still on at Hillsborough in 2 weeks' time, isn't it?
It's all to do at Hillsborough. 2 goals they've got to pull back there. But looking at them tonight, the way they battled, the way they fought, and looking at the Kaiserslautern team, I think the Wednesday can do it. Leeds United proved that you can take the German team to your own ground and overcome a 3-goal deficit. They've only got 2, and don't forget, the away goal counts. So if they win 2-0, then the Wednesday are through.
So the message is, come on Wednesday, you can still do it. Final score, Kaiserslautern 3, Sheffield Wednesday 1.
And we'll be getting reaction from both camps to the result and the sending off in just a couple of minutes.
Mark Bright, your verdict of the game?
Yeah, I think disappointing on the night, but the deciding factor in the game definitely was David Hirst sending off. I think that we looked not in control, but you know, we looked confident of getting a result here. The fans have been magnificent tonight for the players. Also, it's been very intimidating for the players against their crowd as well. I really feel we're still in the competition. I really do. I think that Chris Wood's an excellent game, made 2 or 3 really good saves, and has kept us in the tie.
Sobel, you have a 2-goal advantage, but the tie's not over yet.
No, the tie's not over yet. I think we have a very hard game in Sheffield in 2 weeks, and so for us it's very difficult that the goal is we get here.
The English supporters did not feel it was worth the sending off of David Hirst. What was your view of the sending off?
Yeah, I see it on the TV just 2 minutes ago, and I see it not in the field. I was very surprised, but in the TV I see he struggle as our player not getting the ball at all.
I looked immediately at the lines at the referee, who had his back to play on the incident. He just heard a roar from the crowd. The referee turned to the linesman. I looked at the linesman. He had his flag by his side. He obviously didn't see anything. By the roar of the crowd indicated that something had gone on. He produced a red card, I think, to everybody's amazement. I couldn't believe he produced a red card without actually seeing the incident.
I suppose in a way it's a lesson to be learnt. The referees in Europe are going to do things like
Without doubt, yeah. But Trevor said before the game that you'll get things you don't deserve, and you'll get and things will happen to you. What wouldn't happen in your own country? He said, you know, you have to be patient, you have to keep your head, and sometimes if it goes against you, pick the player up, pat him on the back, and run off.
How difficult do you think it will be for your team when they come to England?
Oh, very difficult. I know, and I love the English football, and I know what will happen there. There was very much pressure for us, but I think we have very good chance for getting counter play.
Leeds proved against Stuttgart that teams can come back from this sort of deficit. Can Wednesday do that in 2 weeks' time?
No doubt about it. No doubt about it. I feel that anyway. I feel strongly that getting back to Hillsborough, get the roar of Hillsborough crowd behind the players. On record, they haven't travelled very well. They haven't scored a goal.
And there was one player in particular they demanded should come out again. David Hirst, so unlucky to be sent off, responded to the call. As everyone knows at the club, the supporters had played their part on a memorable night, even if it had ended in defeat.
The fans are fantastic. It's about the fans and about their expectations, and they've been brilliant tonight.